Hey guys, it's Rick from Rick Chat RC. Welcome to another video. This is something a little different. I'm going to briefly talk about one of my remote control buggies slash truggies. And for most of you, I'm sure you will recognize this as the JLB Cheetah. It's a bit of a powerhouse. It weighs quite a bit, but I tell you what, it's a bit of a powerhouse. And this is the 3S version, not the 4S. And I think it's pretty awesome and pretty fast even on 3S. Now I'm not going to do a full review, but I am just going to show you a couple of tips and tricks that I went through with this, and one of them involves the modification of the tyres. The other one involves replacing a component or a cog in the rear diff section. Everything else is basically the same. I have to say I have modified it slightly by putting thicker shock oil in the shock struts so I can handle the jumps, and it's taken a bit of a beating, but it's held up really well, I have to say. Nothing much else has broken off it. It's quite a mean machine. There is better out there, there is worse, but you know, this is one of my little old favorites. And yeah, I'll just lift the shell off to show you. Pretty much all the same. You've seen this before with a number of other YouTube reviews. This is nothing new. I'm not going to explain anything special. I don't know if any of you have noticed anything different so far while I've been filming this and showing you, but there are two things, as I said, that I'm going to show you that I've done, that I've had to replace and modify. And yeah, one of them is the tyres, the other one is a cog that was part of the rear diff. So I'll just put the canopy back on. Where are we? That's that part there. Okay, there she is. Now I'll start with the tyres, so you can have a look what I mean. Now before I actually give you a close-up of the tyres, most of you would know that the actual tyre pattern that comes with this truck or buggy or truggy, whatever you want to call it, they look nice and big and they're chunky, but they have some pretty ordinary performance when it comes to driving this on dirt or driving this on gravel or the BMX track. The tread pattern is all wrong. For grass, the tread pattern is fantastic. It turns like it's on rails, it stops quickly, accelerates quickly, it flips very easily, I have to say, so you got to watch how you pull the trigger. But I decided that instead of buying a brand new set of tyres, I thought I'd play around with the tyre rubber that I've got. There was still a hell of a lot of rubber on these tyres. They weren't wearing out in a hurry. So I decided to pull out the Dremel tool, of all things, and create my own knobbies, which I'm about to show you how I did that. But before I do, I'm just going to give you a close-up of each tyre so you can see for yourself. So that's what the front left tyre looks like with my modified knobby cutouts, if you like. Moving across to the right hand side, that's the front right tyre with my modified knobbies cut out. I hope you can see that okay and the light's hitting the tyre in the right way. And move across to the rear now. That's the rear right tyre. If I come in a bit closer, yeah, there we go. There we go, that's what it looks like. And the rear left That's what it looks like. So if I do that again, I'll just show you the front ones again. Come out a bit closer. There we go. The right front and the left front. Now, anyone can do this. I'm about to show you how I did it, and you might be able to save yourself $60+ on tyres for the time being if you don't mind experimenting. I mean, this now is quite an effective outcome. These knobby tyres grip on BMX tracks, they grip on the dirt. There's not so much sliding involved anymore, and on grass, well, it kills it on grass. It's still corners like it's on rails. A really good value for money improvement. And the thing is, you can't cut these out with a knife. I don't care how sharp the knife is. It's just the rubber's too thick. I started doing that first and it wasn't working. So I had to move to something a bit more electric, like the abrasion tool that comes with a Dremel tool, which I'll show you in a moment. So you can't use a knife, you have to use a Dremel tool or something similar, and you can achieve this outcome. And if you don't mind me saying so, I think that overall the tyres look really sick now. They just look even more chunky than they were last time. And yeah, I'm really proud of this little outcome. I've improved it by doing very little other than cutting out some tyre rubber from the existing tyres, and I'll show you how I did that in a moment. Okay, so this is the little Dremel tool setup that I've got going. This is what I used to cut the rubber out. As you can see, I ended up using a Dremel stand, so I didn't have to hold the Dremel tool. That's the one of the tyres that I've taken off, and I've got the bit in place there, and with a bit of luck I'll be able to show you exactly how I achieved this, if I can get it close enough. Okay, so I think that's showing it rather well. So, excuse the shaking. So I've got the tyre against the drill bit, and then I set the up and down motion, so I couldn't go any lower, I couldn't go any higher, and I just gradually moved the tyre in and out, making cuts until I achieved that cutout. I hope you can see that. I hope it's coming across okay. Now, it's not a 5-minute process, but it certainly beats using an X-Acto knife or something similar. You can't use a knife. You have to use an abrasion tool like this. And that's what I did for the whole tyre. And that's how I achieved all of that for each tyre. Well worth the effort. It was fun experimenting, and it actually works, guys. And the second thing I was going to show you is the little issue I had with the rear diff. Now this, for those who recognise it, is the old rear diff that I pulled out of the rear of the car. Now I'll just show you a close-up of it. Surprise, surprise, if you look at the cog itself, or the spur gear, there's actually nothing wrong with it. Right, after all the punishment that I put through this buggy slash truggy, this spur gear holds up really, really well. Right, it hasn't failed. I haven't made it smooth. There are no black spots. There are no broken anything. Okay, as you can see, it's all intact. It's perfect. Very strong gear. So I take my hat off. My hat comes off to the JLB team for providing and producing this. I haven't had an issue with the spur gear whatsoever. inside the diff, that is. However, what did fail, in case you haven't seen it yet or you've missed it, there's a little pinion gear that's supposed to be at the end of this shaft, which is held on. Here it is, by the way. I'll just bring it out and show you. That one there. This piece here is held on by a grub screw. A grub screw that is about 5-6 millimeters in length. You put it through the middle there and you screw it into place at the end over here, like so. Well, the part that broke for me was the shaft of the grub screw. Still stuck inside here, still stuck inside there. It sheared off inside, and the shaft of it is still stuck inside there. So I bought a replacement. I have to say, pretty good value for money. This whole mechanism I'm holding, which included this piece here, down here, with the pinion gear, about 15 bucks. Right, it's not going to break the hip pocket. You can change this easily. Comes ready, assembled as you see it. You don't have to do anything except take the old one out, swap the old one out, and put the new one in. So that's what went for me. The diff didn't fail in the usual sense. It failed in this sense, with this little pinion gear, grub screw. Even the pinion gear itself is, I'll just pick that up. Actually, let's see if I can show you close up. The pinion gear itself is quite okay. There's no flat spots. It is perfect. Hasn't failed. Haven't made it smooth. It's a-okay. Fantastic. The grub screw that goes in here and gets attached to the end here, that's the part that failed. Now, I don't know if those grub screws are high tensile steel, but I have replaced it. I'm a bit cautious now about whether it's going to fail again, but I'll find out soon enough. I don't think I really got a really good few runs out of it before it happened. But anyway, they were the two things I wanted to show you. And yeah, drop me a line and tell me if anyone else has been experiencing similar failures with this one. As I said, the diff is okay, the spur gear is okay. It's not getting rounded, the teeth aren't broken, everything's great. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. The JLB Cheetah is an awesome buggy. Awesome. It's a 1/10 scale, but it's almost a 1/8 scale in size. That's what mine looks like now, because I've taken off the rear wheel to show you how I cut out the knobbies in the tyre. But apart from that, it's yeah, look, easy to take apart, easy to maintain, and yeah, they're the two things I went through. One of them was a modification, the other one was a replacement. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. I'll talk to you next time.